Stigma. My name is Michelle Crossman, and I'm your host. This is our very first episode of our second season, which is an incredible milestone to reach, and I just want to take a moment and share my gratitude to every single person who has taken the time to listen, whether it be one episode, part of an episode, the whole thing. Whatever it is that you have participated in listening and sharing these moments with us, with me, with every single special guest, whatever capacity you were able to do that, it has filled me with such gratitude and privilege and honestly joy. Even when we're here having difficult conversations, the joy that I have felt seeing those numbers tick up in listeners and having people reach out and tell me how much that the podcast has meant to them so far. It is an incredible honor, and I am so thrilled to be here to continue these conversations, to have a season 2, and to welcome new people into the conversation, to share more stories with you, to share more hope with you, to share some of the tough conversations with you. We all know how important all of these things are, and having you here along this journey with me and with all of us has been such a pleasure. So thank you. If you are new to listening, please feel free to go back and listen to season 1 as well. Every single episode has its new topic. You can pick and choose. If a topic is something maybe you're not in the mood for, or you feel it might be triggering for you, don't listen. You don't have to. Listen to the ones that speak to you. If you feel the urge to listen to all of it, of course, that would be so greatly appreciated. Every single one of us who has put in the time here to make this happen would be so thankful to know that these messages are reaching you. So again, thank you. This is season 2 of Moving Beyond Stigma. This is a podcast where we talk about all things mental health. This is where we talk about our own personal struggles, the paths that we have taken to start our healing journey and progress through that healing journey to find hope again, where you talk about the realities of PTSD and the lack of compassion that still exists in our world, unfortunately, specifically in, honestly, the medical system, within the government, within capitalism, all of it. We're here to talk about it all. We are an open book here at Moving Beyond Stigma, and this space is not only for me and those I interview, but it is here for you. So we are in January 2024, end of January by the time this episode comes out. And I will be honest, I am filled with a lot of grief and weight from the world. And it's been a struggle to restart this podcast, not because of lack of inspiration or drive, but because there's so much to talk about. I was feeling a little bit paralyzed of where to even begin. The list of things going on in the world right now that requires attention, that requires to be called in and talked about, is a very significant list. I have one voice that I would like to use in as many ways as possible. I want to take the privilege that I have and use it for good and bring opportunity to other people who maybe don't have it. Use this platform to open conversations and have people tell their experiences, ones that I could never possibly fathom because I am not in their position. I want to open this up for us to all have a safe space to listen and to learn, to grow, and find compassion for each other. So where to begin was my very tough question. And as I'm sitting here talking, my mind is still jumping all over the place of where to go, where to start. But I'm going to go with my gut here. I love to work intuitively. I love to listen to what my mind and body and soul is telling me to do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably not going to touch on absolutely everything I would love to touch on today, but again, that's okay. It is just the first episode out of many, but this is how we're going to keep moving forward. So let's get into it. 2023 brought in a lot of new, a lot of cracking people open emotionally. When I started this podcast, it was a way for me to really step into finding my voice and not allowing past traumas to have control over my voice anymore. Whether you're someone who believes in chakras or energy or any of that, I can personally say my voice and my vocal cords felt closed off most of my life. And if you knew me when I was younger, you would probably say I was very shy and very quiet. Most of my life I haven't been shy. Quiet, definitely, because I'm also an observer. That is me, and I have no problem with that. But as an observer, I have also learned that there can be times when you need to step up. And that's what this podcast has taught me to do. It has taught me to step up and use my voice when I can, when I am able, when I have the compassion to, and the empathy to, and the strength to. So this whole year I have spent on building my strength within me, finding my voice again, and holding it tight and claiming it back. Nobody gets my voice anymore except for me. And if you are someone who has felt those similar feelings, I hope that this can bring you some inspiration to share that it's possible to find that strength again. It is possible to scream and yell and find joy in making loud sounds and silly sounds and laughing and talking and sharing your thoughts and sharing how you feel. There's so much joy in doing that I honestly was missing almost my entire life. And having this podcast has really opened up that door for me to say, not anymore. Not anymore will I let my past hold me back, feel like it has this gatekeep on my throat, on my voice, on the sounds that I make, on the words that I am able to deliver, on the strength that I have. No more. So I'm here to tell you it's possible. It is a work in progress. I will be honest. I have my days still, and it's going to be a continuous work in progress. But after this year, the amount of change I have seen within myself and within what I'm able to do and say has been extraordinary. And you can find that too. It doesn't have to be through a podcast. And this isn't the only tool that I've had. I've had a lot of therapy, and I've had some great people in my life. But here is where I kind of made a promise to myself. And I didn't say that in the beginning when we started this podcast because I wasn't really sure how far I would go. Where, would we do one season and be done? Would that be it? Would it be just a couple episodes? I was not sure. But the more I did it, the more I felt my purpose and my power come back. And that is when I learned that it was never actually lost. It was always there within me. There was just a lot standing in the way. A lot of things I had to work through and see and claim as my own. And it's doable. If this resonates with you, if you have ever felt something similar, you can find it. You can reclaim yourself, reclaim your voice, your body, your soul, anything that you feel like has been lost or taken by trauma, by other people, by circumstances. There's so much that takes away and chips away at us in our lives, and reclaiming those things is a lifelong work, but when you start, it is so worth it. So if anything, I hope that this can inspire you to start that and know that you are not alone, and know that it is brilliantly worth it. So this last year for me has been cracking myself open and exposing myself to so many wounds that I honestly didn't even know I had, and staring at them in the face and talking about them and going to therapy and expressing my thoughts and my feelings and my pain and my vulnerabilities through art, through painting, through dancing, through writing, through poetry, through so many different outlets. Whatever I was feeling, I just would have to listen and go for it and just let myself do it. I would have days where I didn't move at all. I would be in bed for probably 48 hours other than to eat and go to the bathroom. And that's the reality of it. When you are trying to do this work, you will have days like that, and you have to know that that is okay, and that is not you failing in any way, shape, or form. That is you resting. When you are going through any kind of big revelation, change, transition, healing process, you need to rest. So much of this world tells us to keep going and going and going, and then all it does is burn us out, and then we don't have any energy for ourselves to give ourselves what we need. So please take those days. I know it's hard sometimes, and the stigma around that still is so strong, but you can do it, and you can own it, and it will help. And you will be better off for taking those days when you need them. That is what this year has been for me personally. It has been a lot. It has been horribly beautiful. But it cracked me open. And now I am welcoming a whole new level of vulnerability that I never knew I could experience into my life. And I will keep going from there. I will keep feeling and crying and resting and fighting. The fight is there. The joy is there. Every time you feel that joy of your authentic self just breathing and living, it is such a privilege that we all deserve, and so many people do not get the chance to actually feel, because the systems in this world oppress so many people where they are unable to find the tools that they need and have access to the tools that they need. So if you do, please do what you can. You deserve it. And then when you find that strength, please use that voice that you have, use the tools that you have to help others that maybe don't have the access quite as easily as you. And if you don't have that access, know that there are people fighting for you to get it, for you to have it, because you deserve it. As we headed into 2024 and the new year, honestly, the world has been looking pretty bleak, to say the very least. And this year, when then there's an actual genocide happening, and we can see it every single day on our phones. We have access to all of this information right in front of us. It is really hard to think about, what are my goals for 2024, when there's people who have no access to anything that they need, when they are living in such horrible circumstances, and so much of the world is allowing it. It's very hard to look past that. And I want to remind everyone listening that it is so important to see all of that, to take it in, to make the calls you can make, to donate if you do have the means. A lot of us don't, but if you do, please help where you can, write letters to government officials, make the calls, sign the petitions, do what you can. There tends to be this line of pressure to post on social media, and if you don't post about what's happening, does that mean you don't care? Sometimes I'm sure that is correct, because there is a lot of people who are turn a blind eye because it's easier for them, and that I absolutely do not agree with. However, sometimes people are doing the work underneath it all. So if you are one of those people who is signing petitions and writing letters, making phone calls, you do not have to post that all over your social media to prove it. You are doing the work, and that's enough. That is more than enough. That is beautiful. If you are someone who is sharing on social media and helping get information out there, that is also enough. That is also doing the work. There are very many valuable ways to do the work and show up and care and have empathy and do your best to make a difference. And all of that is so important. So try your best to do what you can in your capacity, what you are capable of, within your emotional energy, your spiritual energy, along with the monetary energy, because we don't all have extra to just give. Every day is a fight for a lot of people for many, many different ways. This is a time that is terrifying because we are so aware of how broken the system is, so aware of how racist the system is, how homophobic the system is, how ableist the system is, and we don't want it like this anymore. It affects so much. There is so many reasons why mental health statistics have risen over the years. All of this is happening on top of our daily struggles. You know, we are witnessing something horrific and still living our own lives through our own traumas and losses and grief and heartbreak. And it is a lot. So if you are feeling very heavy, full of grief, unsure what to do, that's okay. You do your best. Some days you might be able to actually step up, go outside, join a protest, make those phone calls. Other days you might just need to rest. And there's no harm. There's no shame in that. You are a human being and you have to take care of you in order to be taking care of these bigger things. And I just hope if you are listening right now that you can take this as a little just reminder to slow down when you need to slow down, step up when you have the ability to step up, and encourage others to do the same without shaming anyone if you feel they haven't done enough, because you don't know where their life is at in that moment. You know, we cannot compare ourselves to the person next door because you don't see into their whole lives. All we can do is breathe, put one step in front of the other, keep fighting, keep sharing, keep speaking up, and hopefully people start to listen. And that's what we have to do. We have to fight for better within ourselves, within our own personal communities, within the medical system, within the mental health system, within the school system, within the whole goddamn world. People's happiness and joy and having a life that you want to live is so incredibly important. And all these other things get in the way. And it's not fair. So do what you can for you. Take care of you first. And then do the extra when you can, because the extra is so important as well. But you are too. And we need all of us so that we can fight hard and bring change to the world and bring more light into the world and bring more kindness and empathy and compassion and joy and give everyone a chance to use their voice. Our voices are so incredibly powerful and important, and I don't want anyone to ever tell you otherwise. So keep using that voice in any way you know how. Rest, take time to listen and to love and to learn and to grow and keep going. Again, my goal here is just to maybe bring some inspiration to you, to maybe share some passion with you, to use the voice that I have recently found to do a little bit more. And I hope that resonates with you. And I hope that after listening to this, you can move forward and continue to use your voice in even bigger, brighter ways. So thank you for listening. This is the very first episode of Season 2 of Moving Beyond Stigma, and I cannot wait to bring you more and more. Thank you again, one more time, because I'm just incredibly grateful to be able to be here and speak and share this. My name is Michelle Crossman, and this is Moving Beyond Stigma.